Hey guys, Gamer Edie Sellers here. I am here. It is currently about 7:30 Pacific time, so we are about, what would that would be, like 8 hours or 8 hours after we have heard the announcement from Xbox, the big Xbox One reveal. And since we were supposed to have Piss Boy in the room this morning and he couldn't be there, we now have him here now, and it's been a full day. And let's face it, we all learned there's a hell of a lot more information out there now after the Xbox reveal, now that all the reporters are asking questions and Microsoft officials are making answers. So, hey, Piss Boy, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing there, Edie?
I'm good. So, did you watch the whole thing, or how did you do it?
Okay, I was listening to you guys as you guys were watching the reveal. A little bit on and off because of work, reception, something not that good. So I did miss quite a bit of it, but I was able to replace some of it. Mm-hmm. Main thing is, I want to say all of the rumors were pretty much right on.
Pretty much. Well, to a certain extent. There were rumors that were kind of taken out of context, I think. The always on being the most obvious one. They were taken out of context and then people kind of read stuff into it, and it wasn't as bad as they thought, but it still isn't good from what we've determined so far.
Well, actually, what I've been looking at right now, which I'm trying to find the article because I've been reading everywhere.
Yeah.
The always online DRM is still there. The only thing is, from what I read, which I'm looking for the article right now, it apparently logs into the server like once every 24 hours.
Right. Well, at a minimum, it will lens into it. And that was out of Kotaku. And Stephen Totillo got with Phil Harrison. In fact, I'll pull it up and read the specific line. I have to get it, though. Kotaku. Be just a moment. Or was it Kotaku?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's Kotaku. There it is. Connection required. And it's actually written by Jason Schreier, but it's from information that was given to him by Stephen Totillo, who's a boss over at Kotaku. Let's see. At the event in Redmond today, Kotaku boss Stephen Totillo asked Phil Harrison for clarification on the always on. And what Harrison told us might not please people who enjoy playing Xbox on military bases or locations without the internet. Blah, 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 blah. Kotaku. If I'm playing a single-player game, do I have to be online at least once per hour or something like that? Or can I go weeks and weeks? Harrison. I believe it's 24 hours. Kotaku, I'd have to connect online once every day. Harrison, correct. So, I guess originally there was information that came that they were saying that it was going to be something else, that it was going to be needing to be always on. It's not necessarily that case.
Well, this kind of, remember how right now during the whole presentation there was a big partnership between EA and Xbox about how they're pretty much going to cater towards them. A few weeks ago, remember EA said, actually probably was last week, how they said, "Oh no, we're getting rid of the codes, the online codes." So they get rid of the online codes, and now since they got rid of the sell games in a way, how right now they're going to be charging a fee for anybody who uses.
No, we have that has been backtracked.
It has.
Oh yes, in fact, I sent you that link. That got backtracked big time.
So, okay.
And also, they're backtracking. Right now, everything is so in the air because here's an update just happened on Kotaku about exactly what I just said. And this is Microsoft's. Here's the update. Sounds like things are a mess over at Microsoft. Now they're telling Polygon that Harrison's comments illustrate a potential scenario. While Phil Harrison discussed many potential scenarios around the games on Xbox One, today we've only confirmed that we designed Xbox One to enable our customers to trade in and resell games at retail, a Microsoft rep said. There have been reports of a specific time period. Those will be discussions of potential scenarios. We have not confirmed any details today, nor will we be. Nor will we be? Really? Anyway,
wow.
I think it's named nor will we. But yeah, the what you're talking about with the having to pay for used games, it was originally put out by
it's supposed to be a fee.
Wired. It was Wired that got that one.
Yeah.
And almost immediately, Microsoft said that they had sent a letter of retraction to that is not what it's going to be. It is, like I say, one possible scenario, one potential scenario. So, and unfortunately, Wired did not take it down. They just kept going with it because they were getting hit so much, I'm sure. But that has been backtracked big time.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder what else from, I guess in another ways, how everything is brought out right now, and Microsoft is seeing that, oh shit, should we really, what exactly want to bring out right now? What exactly want to say right now? Because everything is coming out negative towards them. From the rumors that came back are starting to resurface again, and now they're like, what actually going to happen with this system?
Right.
Another thing that I just also posted up right now from, I think it was Shack News, how, what's it, Shack News? About how the Xbox, we can no longer replace the hard drive. It's going to be built in. You can no longer swap it out. So the hard drive that it comes with, that's it. And
well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Doesn't the current 360 not let you swap Xboxes? Because that's one of the problems.
No.
That it was bricking Xboxes because people were messing around with it.
Well, no. You could actually switch hard drives with the current Xbox right now, either with the Slim or with the original ones. You could actually swap out hard drives. There's actually a slot you could actually pull out, and when that one's full, you could put another one in.
Right.
And if you have an older Xbox, they sell a kit. Well, I believe it's like $20 that you plug into your new Slim, and you can actually transfer all your information that's from the other hard drive to the new hard drive. So you have that. With this one here, that 500 gigs that are inside your Xbox One, you can no longer replace. It's there. So you're going to have to be required to get an external hard drive. Probably one from Microsoft or probably another third party, but that is something else that is apparently happening right now with the hard drives.
Got it. Well, it makes sense. I mean, that's not unusual that you would have to buy. In fact, I believe the original Xboxes
only had 20.
Right. That you had to buy an external Xbox hard drive, and it was branded Xbox hard drive.
Yeah, and it was limited.
And it was limited. It was very small and very expensive. Yeah. So that doesn't surprise me. And honestly, telling people that they can't switch out their hard drives just means that the people are still going to be switching out their hard drives. They just have to be a little bit more crafty about doing it. They have to, instead of just being, just slapping in a new hard drive, they actually have to do a little bit extra work with the software to make sure that the hard drive thinks that it's the original hard drive, that it's an official Microsoft hard drive.
Yeah, and the other thing is, which this is to me my concern, 500 gigs. It kind of does seem a lot.
It's not.
But it's not. Considering that one Blu-ray single layer is 25 gigs, a dual layer is 50 gigs, and if they're going to be pushing it to whatever max they're going at, and apparently it's mandatory game installation on there for this system, you are going to, just within 10 games at max, that's all you can install in there, but without having to delete them.
But here's what I see. I see that they are going, this is how they're pushing the cloud. That you are going to essentially store your games in the cloud and then have, 3 or 4 active ones you keep on your hard drive at any time. And then when you're not using it, it will throw it back into the cloud. And the problem is that the upload and download speeds, I'm sure the Xbox One itself is going to be fast enough to be able to do that kind of stuff. But it has to do with your internet connection. If you don't have a really good internet connection, it means that you're going to wait 4 to 5 hours to get your game.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that what you said, internet connection. Right now, you are able to go to any company and they'll sell you about 10, 15 gigs for a pretty expensive price. And if you notice, that's nothing considering that Netflix requires about 9 megabytes of bandwidth just to watch Netflix. Right. Imagine now you're pushing 25, 50 gigs down the bandwidth. The internet infrastructure here is not really developed for this type of cloud they're trying to do. It wouldn't be bad
if that's the case. Assuming this is the case that they're going to be using the cloud.
Yeah, and
would you change your mind if there was a relatively, and I say this relative, being relative for something that is Microsoft branded, so it's going to be more than your average terabyte external hard drive available for it?
Depends on the cost.
Right. Say that it's expensive. Say that it's 25% more than your average terabyte drive.
25% more, that would be probably $150.
Yeah.
$150, that wouldn't be bad, considering that 250 gigs, the Xbox 360 hard drive costs about that much.
Right. Well, also that was how long ago? I mean, that's old tech. Memory has gotten way cheaper than it was. But I'll say maybe $200 for a terabyte hard drive.
That $200, you could get about more about. For a regular hard drive for a computer right now, you could get about 2 or 3 terabytes for about $150.
Right, but this is Xbox. It's going to be an Xbox branded external hard drive, which means it's going to be priced at a premium. Because even when the 250 gig hard drive for Xbox before, it was like 50% more expensive than you could go out and go get. People would say that price, and they go, "God, you could get a gig hard drive for that." I mean, a 500 gig hard drive for the price of the 250.
Yeah, I think of it this way. First of all, we don't know the price on it. By the looks of it, and what I'm seeing right now, since especially they're going to have to pay extra for the Blu-ray, having that in there, so they're going to have to pay extra for that. Mm-hmm. The type of processors they have, they're putting their own processor in there, which that's what pretty much Sony tried to do last generation, which you saw how good that
right.
dealt with so they're doing that. I'm surprised that they actually went for a lower RAM. Really am surprised.
Yeah, it was only 8 gigs.
No, and not just that. It's not even fast. It's not even as fast as the PlayStation.
Right.
They went for lesser RAM. I mean, and I guess I'm thinking about how they're planning to put the price at. But if the system goes for $500 and you got 500 gigs in there, everything has to be saved in the cloud. And once every 24 hours, you have to log into the cloud. So I guess you have your account active. And not just that, does that also include movies? If you're watching Blu-ray, does that also include that? That, say, for example,
I don't think it's logging in to check that stuff. Here's why it's logging in, and it has to do with the Kinect. Did you see any of the information on the new Kinect 2?
How you pretty much controls everything from your TV.
No, not about what it controls, about what it can see. It can see your heartbeat because it can see the blood vessels in your face. I saw some demos of it that were they were just demos. They were not games. Some of the reporters had after the fact when they were put in a room with it. And like you would jump up and down and it would see the muscles of your legs, like when your thigh, when you squat down and then you jump and land and the muscles of your thigh expand because it's taking the pressure of gravity, that it would actually show it expanding. It could see your leg expanding. It can see whether you're looking straight ahead or you're looking up or you're looking down or looking to the right. It can see micro expressions. And it's going to be reading this stuff while you're watching other stuff.
It's kind of scary.
And here's something I was watching the video cast of Kevin Pereira, his video cast, which was very good. He made a point that if you say you're watching your television, what happens if they're asking you to do stuff like if they throw in a commercial in the middle of it and you get to skip the commercial by standing up and saying, "I love the smell of Tide," or "Ford is the best car ever," and that lets you bypass the commercial. Because I had that exact thing happen today. You know, like you sign in and you're trying to get a password or get a register for something, and it was a CAPTCHA. You're supposed to like put in the name, but the CAPTCHA was embedded inside a video that was an advertising for what was it? It was Dawn dishwashing liquid, and it said, "Click this ad for your code." And I had to click the ad, and when the ad started playing, my code was Dawn dishes. Dawn washes 2 times more dishes. And I had to do that as a CAPTCHA in order to prove I'm a human being, in order to get registered for the website.
Wow.
And that, my friend, is the future. You are going to have to do stuff like to skip commercials. You have to say stuff out loud. Like, "I love Microsoft." Well, not Microsoft, because they might have to do that. But, like ads. You're essentially going to have to be your own ad. And it's going to be fucking insulting. And on top of it, while you're watching these ads or while you're watching these television shows, it can pick up micro emotions and be able to see what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And if you when you yawn at a particular time in a particular show that you're watching, write down, because all that stuff can be fed back in real time. And that's why you have to check in once every 24 hours, because it has to upload the use information. Creepy. You are bringing this shit, and this is just the beginning, the very beginning. This is going to be your living room for the next 5 years of your life, and it is becoming a box where they are literally sticking a camera in that can watch you and uploads that information at the minimum once a day. And if you don't do it once a day, then it bricks it for you, and you can't use it. You don't get to use your television. You don't get to use your whatever. But can it order pizza? I bet you, Jason, I guarantee you will be able to order pizza through it.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I see a pizza commercial. Oh, I wouldn't mind that. And then you have
Papa
a little
John's.
thing pops up.
Right. Do you want to order from Papa John's? Yes. Order me a Papa John's pizza. What kind of pizza would you like? Pepperoni, sausage, and mushrooms. What's your address? Or can we use your address in your profile? Yes. Okay, your Papa John's pizza has been ordered. It'll be there in 45 minutes.
And it's all marketing.
Yep.
Is their way they're making extra money from us.
Yeah.
And the first of all, I wouldn't want to do that because it comes down to privacy. Your privacy is going to be completely invaded by Microsoft. And the last thing I want is, more than anything, them to know more about me than what I want them to know.
Right.
Yeah. And
they're
pretty much gonna put a database on everybody.
I didn't really think about it. Well, yeah, but theoretically, it's going to be anonymous. But Kevin Pereira also made a point that this is also the beginning of a new cycle. This thing is going to be in your house for a good long time. Lots of things can change. In theory, Justice Department could go to Microsoft saying, "Here's the picture of a bong. Please tell me how many bongs you see and where I can find them."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or what else is going going on in people's homes that shouldn't be going on.
Yeah, and it's I know I've got my Connect here. It's there. I know it's there. I know I can pick stuff up, but at the same time I also know that it's not sensitive to enough to pick up a lot of stuff. This new one is sensitive enough to be able to see when your heartbeat rises while you're watching something.
Yes,
think about that. It's getting information about your heartbeat while you're watching television.
And most likely it's going to be recording the channels that you're watching, exactly what you're watching, because even if you're watching a Blu-ray, it's going to send all the information over there. Hey, look, this person likes this.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
Right.
And they're getting excited over something.
Right.
Let's go ahead and tag
specifically,
that.
we know exactly the moment that you got excited, and we know exactly where what you were looking at on the screen. When you see a big screen full of stuff, what's attracting your eye? They actually have scanning software that does that. In fact, Dave, Holy Goalie, who's in the chat room right now, we were talking about that, about Bar Rescue. We watched an episode of Bar Rescue about they have a software that they sit and put glasses on you, and they actually, it's not even that. I don't even think it's glasses. They have you look at a menu, and you can see where a customer's eyes go to first, and that's where exactly you want to place your most profitable items, is in these places where your eyes go to first. So they can put the menu down and figure out what people are looking at first, and then design a menu so that your eyes are going to the things that are most profitable. This is the same kind of technology. It knows not only when you looked at a specific thing, but exactly what part of the screen you looked at, what individual thing on the screen you looked at, and how much it raised your heartbeat, what your micro expression that you can't even tell what you don't even know what it's all subconscious. It's watching you better than you watch yourself. And
Microsoft is going to have that.
Yep. If it doesn't have it now, it will by the end of the cycle. I can guarantee you that.
Well, that's and also depending if, like you said, the Justice Department don't jump in and go, isn't that an invasion of privacy?
Yeah. But
I mean,
that's part. We're going to sign a user agreement. It's going to be there. User agreement.
Yeah,
absolutely. Does anybody ever read those things before they hit agree?
No, it's going to be part of the EULA.
Yep.
And next you know, it's like, oh wait, why am I getting emails from this, and that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lens cap for the Kinect, I think, is a great idea. Unfortunately, Dave, it looks like you're going to have it in your house because it is mandatory. That's another one of those things that has been sort of confirmed and yet not confirmed. Let me see. I'll try and find it. But there was something I read about the mandatory use of a Kinect.
It's going to have to be connected at all times.
It has to be connected at all times, but not necessarily used. Oh God, I wish I forgot what it was. And it was also, I saw it. Where did I see it? I saw it somewhere, and it was a misleading headline that says Kinect will have to be connected, but it doesn't have to be connected. Only in certain circumstances. Essentially, the headline is completely misleading. But I don't know about PC gaming only. I'm it may be that Microsoft also, before anybody that makes any decision about what's being said right now today is foolish. This is they're already saying about the stuff that's coming out possible scenarios, which means that all of this stuff that everybody says has been confirmed is really not been confirmed. And I don't think even Xbox, I don't even think Microsoft knows exactly what they want to do with stuff. Just because they have the potential to do it doesn't mean that that's how they're going to do it. They're going to
do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're still deciding. I think that they've learned a lot today. They learned a lot more than we did, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially where all the Twitter threads and everything's going around, everybody talking about it.
Right.
And if whatever they implement, it's not positive. No. A lot of the stuff is not positive.
I have not heard a single person that has been over the moon happy with it. I know that some people are happier with what they saw from Sony than they saw from Microsoft than what they saw from Sony. I also know some people the other direction. But I have not seen anybody that has said that the things that they are proposing, like the always on, like the every 24 hours being connected, like the motion capture and the potential invasion of privacies. They're just because they have the power doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be using it. And I think they've learned that it's not good.
And right now they're probably going to be testing the waters to see exactly what people are senses are.
They're looking for the reception.
Right.
They're looking for the reaction.
To see what exactly people are going to be talking about, because trust me, they're scouting everywhere right now. They're seeing exactly what everybody's saying, and they're come E3, they're probably going to, of course, say a lot more about that, but it is pushing more people towards Sony right now.
Right.
I mean,
right.
And I mean, that's what I'm looking at. Sony seems to have a simple x86 computer chip, processing chip. Did you see what type of video card the Microsoft is?
Did they release anything about the video card? Because I did not find it, and I was looking.
I didn't. The only thing I could see is the rumor ones that they're using the same one as Sony, and that's just a rumor one. Other than that, nothing has been revealed.
Yeah.
On that actual video card itself.
Right.
They're using a lesser RAM than the Sony one, so they're Sony's looking better right now.
Yeah. Well,
that's
Sony,
what it seems like.
When you put down system. What they have in the system, the system specs of the Xbox 360 versus the PS3, Sony looks better. What has been Xbox's and Microsoft's bread and butter has been the social connection. Right. Mm-hmm. The games don't look as good. No way. Not even close.
Well, depending
we have
on
to
the
pay
game.
for our Xbox Live Gold subscription. We pay for that. Sony gives it away for free. Sony, on paper, is by far a much better product, but they don't have the social.
Well, and what the problem was is that they didn't go for the, like, for example, the chat. You could be on anything and just chat with your friends.
Right, cross-platform chat.
And that's something that Sony couldn't really do because of the way they had their infrastructure set up. They really couldn't do that, and they really couldn't see that actually happen. I mean, just a regular Wii was able to chat depending on type of games that actually have for chatting. You were able to do that on the regular Wii.
Right.
I mean, and they couldn't do it with the PS3. With this one here, you could tell that they learned their lesson to the whole point. Not only they're doing cross chat, you're also doing cross video.
Right.
And now with the Xbox, you're also going to have cross video, but everything's going to be running through the Kinect. Everything's just going to be wide open for pretty much anyone.
Mm-hmm. I think this was a huge opportunity for Sony. This Xbox One reveal, but everything could change in 3 weeks. It's just 3 short weeks away. We're going to see E3, and I would imagine people are probably going to start putting their hands on it. I mean, they've already had some reporters that put their hands on it today, just as a tech demo, but nothing, no in-game play. And a lot of them were very impressed with the way it felt, especially. Did you hear about the new the new controller?
Yeah. This is something I was going to bring up earlier. Uh-huh. I think it was last year or earlier this year, Nintendo no longer owns the patent for the D-pad anymore. For the same D-pad they've been using from the NES all the way to now, they no longer have control of the pad anymore. And that's what they're using. It looks like Microsoft is going to using the same D-pad that everybody's been using since from the NES era.
Right, and it's going to be great for people that are using fighters or things like that require
exactly.
the D-pad to be really, really responsive.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think is good that they're going to use that, because the Nintendo. You have a Wii U and you played a Wii. Right. You know how good that D-pad feels.
Sure.
I mean it is so nice to use, and now Microsoft's going to use that. So that's a good thing. The controller, there isn't anything that I see that's complete like wow. Uh-huh. It just looks a little bit. They move some things around.
Did you see the difference in the Rumble Pack?
No, I did not.
The Rumble Pack is no longer going to be in the palms, the area, the arms where it goes into your palm. It's actually going to be rumbling in the trigger.
Oh,
Right. So
okay.
Adam Sessler got to sit down with it as a demo where he got to rev a car and I think he got to punch somebody or something. And he said that he hates to use the word immersive because it is so overused, but it was much more immersive as far as the control in the field because it was in your fingertips. And he did
Yeah.
ask whether there would be a possibility where there could be, since they already have something going on in the trigger, to allow for resistance, like say you're trying to grapple someone or trying to do something that's difficult, and that
Like
you
a
would
push.
have a pushback on
Yeah.
the keys. And they said, well, we haven't really done, not really doing anything with that yet, but it's certainly a possibility. Which,
Yeah.
if they
And,
had that, how cool would that be?
well, and not just that, it looks like they're using a regular IR interface, the RF interface. So
Right.
it's going to be a regular wireless 3.6 controller. So I wouldn't doubt if they come up with a wire version, that's going to be the controller to use for a PC.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, because everything the controller pretty much looked the same. I mean, besides the top part that they moved it in a little bit. Other than that, it pretty much looks the same. Maybe a little bit smaller. That's about it.
Yeah, that's and they say
So
it's smaller and lighter. It actually feels a lot better. It's very in the thumbsticks actually feel a lot better, which I think is good because I've actually thought that the thumbsticks have always been kind of wonky. Not bad, but just took a little getting used to. These things he says are
well,
great.
well, and not just that. The thumbstick after a while they wear off. I don't know if
Oh
I,
yeah.
I I mean, especially with heavy use, those things just wear off, and it's like, wow.
Yep. Yeah, I've worn off mine several times. The rubber pads on the top of them, I've worn through every single uh, controller in the house. So, and Blacks for Void is in the chat room. Says, and actually, Holy Goalie says, so no show needed tomorrow. No, there's going to be a show tomorrow. Don't you worry about that. We're going to have a regular show, regular time. Don't worry about that. There's going to be a third happy endings, a real happy endings with the three of us. Because we have yet to have the Gamehound staff just kind of sitting down and chatting about stuff. And honestly, there's going to be a lot more information. I mean, look at the amount of information we've had today between the time that the Xbox reveal ended until now, because there's so many people working and out there snooping and answering questions, because now for the first time a lot of these Microsoft guys can actually answer questions. So
Yeah, and that's
you're
a
going to be
good thing because
more information tomorrow.
and well, like I said, that's a good thing only because when the PlayStation had the reveal, they didn't have much of that. They pretty much just left it out there, and they must mainly about the games, and that was it. They haven't had much actually on actual. Oh shoot, what's I trying to say?
I don't know. Not my job. Not my union. Sorry.
No,
I'm
no.
not paid enough to think for you.
No, there just haven't been any one-on-one time with the actual PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been none of that. So at least Microsoft is actually having people be able to play with it, use it, see what they're planning to show. Unlike PlayStation has been mostly about this is what we have and won't really show much anything until E3.
Yeah, Whoa, hey, I'm getting some serious echo.
From me?
Are you listening to me through external speakers and not through a headset?
No, I'm just hearing through you from my headset. That's it.
Okay, because it's got some weird echo. Okay, it's probably just an
sorry.
internet thing because it's now gone now.
Okay.
I am trying to see if there's any other information that's still coming out. And it's literally coming out all over the place. And I think that you're right, that there was... Sony had their event not on their Sony... Did they have it on their Sony campus? Did they? I can't remember. Where did they hold it?
I don't remember. I really don't remember where they had it. I know that they... I think they had it some sort of theater. But I don't remember exactly where.
Let me find out. Let's look that up. Sony PS4 reveal date. let's see.
Yeah.
Sony unveils. It will be announced after the 2013 GDC. Where was it location?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm still trying to find it.
Excellent.
I mean, it will be good to actually see games going side to side between those two consoles, and we're going to see that. There's going to be a lot of games that it's going to be third parties going to go through those two consoles and the PC. So you're gonna be able to through pretty much those three major ones.
Right. Here's a possibility that I'm kind of just toying around in my head, is that there was a rumor of this thing called the Xbox Mini.
I remember that.
Right. What if there really is an Xbox Mini that would be in the $100, $150 range? That is
the $200 range.
Even the $200 range. That it was just a gaming console.
Or okay, but
and then you got the Xbox One that is your gaming console plus your television tuner plus your DVR plus your other stuff, because in the after show that they had with Larry Herb with Major Nelson, I kept want to say Commander Tim, with Major Nelson, they had some of the Sony Higgs up there, and one of them said, it was not Sony Higgs, Microsoft Higgs.
Microsoft.
And one of them said, this is really the generation of and. We expect our electronics to have and with them. It is a phone and a computer. We expect our tablets to be, our computers to be and a tablet. We expect our tablets to be and something else. We expect a lot of things. And if you have something that only does one thing, there usually is something else that will do multiple things for a premium price. This could be the similar idea to, say, an iPhone versus an iPod. That you can get an iPod Touch, do all the stuff with an iPod Touch that you could do minus the phone. It may be that this Xbox Mini is kind of a real thing, and that it is the game console. That's all it does. It just plays games. Or you could get the Xbox One, and the Xbox One is everything. You can get rid of your DVR. It does it all. It's the and part.
Well, okay, it's pretty much how Microsoft, when the Xbox 360 came out, they had the arcade edition, they had the Pro edition. You had their arcade edition, they pretty much had no memory.
Right.
And then you had the Pro edition that actually had a hard drive.
Right.
My question is that if they're going to go that route, most likely everything's going to be saved up in the cloud. That's probably how, because they're going to put money into a hard drive. They're going to have everything just running through the cloud. And remember how they were bouncing around the idea of actually having like a service, like monthly, like a $15 monthly service for Xbox Live, and they also pay for your Xbox. That could be something else they might also introduce with that.
Right. Blacks for Void says, would they call the Xbox One and the mini bundle called the Xbox One Plus? No, I would say that it's probably going to be the Xbox One and the Xbox. That's because there was an argument that they were just going to call everything the Xbox, and then the Xbox One being all one, and that was what they were trying to get after with that name, was that it was all going to be one box to rule them all, so to speak.
Well, I mean, another thing that my thinking back of Microsoft and all their stuff is how, what was it, a year ago, how they wanted to even have your PC run Xbox Live. That's something that was pushed around last year, and there was nothing said about that.
Right. Which,
I mean, I'm really kind of down on the whole backwards compatibility thing, especially because, as whenever a new system launches, people are going to want to play their old games. I mean, there's once the lineup wears down and you played everything that's there, you're going to go back and play games that your other friends are playing. That they're playing the games that you have played before,
Right.
and you want to be able to do that. And it's one of the things that, yes, you get a new system, and then you pretty much forget about the old one. But that takes time. That takes years before you don't even play those anymore.
Right.
And both Microsoft and Sony are not even looking at that. At least one good thing. At least Sony, you're going to be able through their with their streaming stuff through Gaikai, you'll be able to at least play those games again, which I think that's a big plus. But yet with Microsoft, you didn't hear anything about that. It's just pretty much going to be no backwards compatibility, but yet nothing about being able to replay those games again. Especially now, since a lot of things are, the new system comes out, a lot of the downloadable stuff you already have in your Xbox, your arcade games, your on-demand games, everything like that. None of them is going to be transferable.
Right.
It's just going to stay on there, and that's like you said. How much money have you spent on your Xbox? I mean, I have spent quite a bit on my Xbox.
Thousands.
I mean, seriously. And I don't want it to be one of those things that I'm going to have to choose. Okay, which am I going to pop out today? This one or that one? This one or that one? I mean, well, Nick had it right. He's repurchasing all of his games through Steam that he can, and because he knows that library would never disappear. It is his. It's his to own. It's his. It's his. And what sucks is that a lot of people say, who cares? You get a new system, you're getting newer graphics, you're getting everything new. But all of us, especially the older ones, we're gamers. We remember our first system. We actually go back and try to purchase back our systems that we have sold, traded in, and everything back in, because a lot of those games were great, and we still want to play them.
Right.
And being to the whole point of actually, a lot of these, the younger generation go, yeah, just trade it in. But you're traded in, not just your system. You're trading your system plus everything you have paid for it within your system back into getting a new system.
Right. Well, and there's also the aspect that and it's kind of disappointing that the one thing that was confirmed by Microsoft today was that it will not be backwards compatible. And they have not backtracked from that. They have said there was original rumors that your gamer score would not go over, would not transfer over to the new game, so the new console. So everybody'd start at a gamer score of 0. Your achievements would start at 0. I don't know about the achievements, but the gamer score and your gamer tag will be transferring over. So that was disclaimed after coming out that saying it wasn't. But the one thing that has not been contradicted by Microsoft after the fact was it's not going to be backwards compatible. And I do find that very, very depressing, very upsetting, because it means I'm not getting rid of my Xbox. Worse yet, very soon, I'm not going to be able to play those games except in single player. And there were so many of those games that were important to me in multiplayer.
Well, and here's the thing. This is something that me and Nick were talking about just this week. How I brought a lot of games out that I was testing out when the Xbox first came out. I put in. I decided to test to see what exactly still plays, if anybody saw that. I put in Perfect Dark Zero. That ran to person-to-person server. So I put it in. I could get in a game. If anybody wanted to come in again, they could get in again. That game still worked. I put in Two Human. That game still worked. I was able to play into these games. What happens? New system's gone, and all these games that run on servers, you can no longer play multiplayer with. And I mean, it's going to be sad, because I know that a lot of people still talk about playing Ghost Recon on their regular Xbox, and how they still want to be able to play that, and some of them still have LAN parties where they could still be able to play that, because the server's no longer there, but they're still able to do that. But now we won't. All of our multiplayer games, unless you run through person to person, you can no longer play them because the servers are going to be gone.
Right.
Everything that runs through servers are going to be gone, especially with this new launch. And that, my other question is that the new Windows phones and Windows 8 that has your actual Xbox account already embedded to it, how you're able to play games on there and you're able to store your stuff on there. How would that change now?
Right.
Would that also be transferable? I mean, if the new system going to knock it down, will you be able to still be able to do this? Because they're showing that you're able to play pretty much the similar games from your Xbox on your Windows 8 tablet or Windows 8 phone. You're able to do that. Would you still be able to do that when they're going to lock that out? And that's all goes through backwards compatibility. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen with that?
That's kind of huge. Here's the thing, is that everybody that is freaking out, by the way, can you turn down your headset volume with me? Because I've got horrible echo.
Okay.
All right. Oh yeah, there we go. Now, well, no, it's still there a little bit. We gotta work on that, piss boy. We gotta figure out if we're gonna be on our shows again. But the bottom line is that everybody that's kind of freaking out really should hold off until we know more. This is such an early stage, and we're going to hear a lot more between now and the end, and we're going to hear a lot more about Sony as well. And Sony's also probably going to piss us off as well. I think that that any of the things that may have been said as possible scenarios are being reconsidered very much based on the outrage, because I have never seen this much outrage. I mean, there's always a bunch of outrage out of new console information. I remember when the PS3 was announced and people lost their goddamn shit over that. But everyone just hang out. I'm not signing the death warrant on the Xbox One just yet. I am being cautiously pessimistic. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Not cautiously optimistic. I am cautiously pessimistic. But I am also recognize that a lot can change between now and release date, whenever that might be.
Yeah, one thing though I am sad about the whole EA stance on the Wii U. I'm bringing that only because, if Microsoft really, drops the ball on this and both the systems are extremely high, the only ones that's going to be left is going to be on a reasonable price will be the Wii U, but yet it's not going to, EA already said they're going to support it. They still have their pretty good stance with Ubisoft, but I mean, they're going to miss out. And I hope the EA pretty much sees what's actually going to happen, especially when the next year come around. Pretty much when the pre-orders start, like you said, when pre-orders start, you're going to pretty much know what system's going to start selling, which system is actually going to be the ones to look for. And we're going to have to wait and see what actually happens with these three systems coming out. Right. Like I told you before, when the PS4 got revealed, there was nothing there that said, something, I want to get this. Mm-hmm. The thing that I liked the most was the whole social stuff, how you were able to press one button to share. I thought that was kind of cool.
Right.
That's to me the only thing that I like about it. That this Xbox here is, there's really nothing that says grab me.
Yeah.
There's really is nothing. There's. I gotta wait.
There was no wow moment for me. The biggest wow moment for me was the dog. Was the rendering of the dog. But, honestly, that is about what PCs were doing anyway, so I'm not that impressed. But it was kind of cool that the dog looked so good. But, that's certainly not enough to make me spend what will probably be closer to $600 now that I'm, pricing out what this thing is going to cost. It's not enough to make me want to buy it.
Yeah,
right now. That's why I say cautiously pessimistic.
Yeah. I mean, even if $500 is still... Simple as this, both these systems are going to go head-to-head.
Right.
At their price range.
Yeah.
So it's... And when... I'm hoping that Nintendo is able to jumpstart something to bring some things out there to keep themselves afloat, because it's going to be it's going to be the one thing that people are probably going to look at. And like I said, one thing that to me is that I'm worried about is the use game stuff.
Right.
And that's really hitting me because actually probably not just me. A lot of people who have multiple Xboxes at their house.
Uh-huh.
You know, you have a game and you're like, oh, how about so and so play this game? And right now you go ahead and play it. You might not be able to play like something you have the online code. You might not be able to do the multiplayer, but still you're able to play the single player, the single player part. But when you're no longer able to do that with this current Xbox, I mean, it's going to push more people towards the PS4.
Right.
I mean, like I said, all this stuff you don't got to wait to see what's going to happen. But yet, like I said, the Wii U, those games you could transfer it to whoever wants to play, and you can play the used games on them. So you still have that, and of course, it's going to be the one that costs less of all. Most likely, the one that costs less of all three systems, unless each of them come out with their system to compete with the Wii U minus X, Y, and Z, two of them. Mm-hmm. That'll be the only thing. But I really. The PS4 controller, the touch thing, I think it's pretty neat, especially if they're going to do a lot of, like pretty much what the Vita has, a lot of the touch games stuff. I think that'll be pretty neat. That's neat on their part. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, no wow moments for the Xbox.
Right. Good.
And they're going to have to really show a lot at E3. They're
either at E3 or in the subsequent months, and I think that's entirely possible. That's certainly possible. I think that it was just kind of to give them an opportunity to have a date when Microsoft can start rolling out information. That's all they wanted to do, and that's what they did. And now they're just watching everybody, clawing of eyes and gnashing of teeth, freaking out about what does this all mean. And we can only go with what we have seen, and the things that most impress me are the Kinect, and the thing that most concerns me is the Kinect, because that's scary.
Scary, exactly. Especially if you have it in a room,
right? Right, in your room, watching everything you do, or if you do watch your television through Xbox, and it can actually watch and track your eyes and your heart rate and all that other stuff while you're watching TV, while you're watching ads. That's scary. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, we are going to be on. He said, Jason Webb says it's going to cost $600 plus your soul, pretty much.
Well, yeah, they're pretty much going to own it with the new Kinect. Shoot, they're going to know everything.
Yep. And Black Sphere Void says, Edie, I'll always have Borderlands and Mass Effect. I agree. I will definitely always keep Mass Effect. I will definitely always have Borderlands. Those are two very important games, and I will be very disappointed if I cannot play. In fact, it makes me think, God, I really should make sure that I download all of the DLC before they shut down the Xbox servers.
Oh, or you could get it for the PC.
No, I've got it for the Xbox. I liked it with the Xbox. Don't wreck No, I've already bought it. I'll just keep my old Xbox and I'll play it. That's the beauty of a single player game. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. One thing though, one thing that they didn't talk about is their Xbox Live.
Right.
Are they going to add to the Xbox Live, add a, not only you get your Xbox Live plus a subscription to something else,
right? With
that, that's something else that I'm curious about. Another thing, if they're gonna use your Xbox as an actual like a cable box, are they gonna also allow to put for example, with some cable providers, you could get like a TiVo and you could add their card to that so it actually works the cable box. Are they going to also integrate that to it?
Right. Well, we should log off because at this point that there's nothing more to say until tomorrow when we hit the Game Hounds podcast. Yes, we will have a Game Hounds podcast. We're going to record it in the morning, and then you're not going to hear that, but you will hear the Game Hounds happy endings at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I always have to do the math in my head. Noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern
3 p.m.
for happy endings tomorrow. So we will. Yeah, you've got a lot of lot of content from us this week. But then again, it was, every 5 years, 6 years, you're going to have a console, and we might as well make a big deal out of it. So,
yep.
On behalf of the GameHound staff, that would be me, Dave Gardner, Holy Golly, Nick DiNicola, and Pissboy, who's here with me. And by the way, Pissboy, thanks for joining me. Thank you also, everybody in the chat room. Jason Webb, Holy Golly, Black Sphere Void. I think it's only 3 because it was kind of an unscheduled game plan, and a lot of people, I think, are out in the middle of Europe and stuff, are all asleep at the moment. So, on behalf of everybody, thanks so much, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
All right.